Alright, boys and girls, this is a best of 5 grand finals. Nothing's really changed from the rest of the format today. It's a best of 5 between what is the best and the best Zerg and the best Terran player to make it this far. This is for the Home Story Cup 9 qualifiers, the top 8 tournaments. Oh, WTF. Shout out to Dr. House for a $10 donation. Yeah! Anyways, getting into this series properly though, spawning in the top left corner of the map from CM Storm, the blue Terran player, Polt.
In the bottom middle position as the teal Zerg, it is Armani.
Of course, repping that Samsung Galaxy. For those who don't know the way this is going to work, there's going to be a lot of bouncing back and forth between the different servers for this. Rather than just saying, look, you all fight on NA, it's unfair. You know, Take TV is just going to let these guys bounce back and forth. So whether Polt wins or Armani wins, it doesn't matter. Will be some games on Korean servers, so it'll be a little bit advantageous for Armani, of course, playing from Korea. And some games will be on North America, like this one currently, in favor of Polt.
So what are these guys fighting for exactly?
A fully paid trip to Home Story Cup 9.
So only one person gets a fully paid trip. One
Right.
of these guys.
Right,
Okay.
so everyone's already been invited. Like, these guys are all welcome to come play on their own dime, but they have to get to Germany first. Whereas,
Right.
you know, Polt's, a plane trip from, like, US to Germany is seriously like $2,000, guys. It's nothing cheap.
That sucks.
I remember looking up when I wanted to go to, I knew I couldn't afford it. I was like, I wonder how much it would cost to go to DreamHack. Like, how crazy of a pipe dream is that? I'm like, oh, well, that's not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, actually, Axelab messaged me and he was just like, you know, we were just talking, he's been talking a while, and he mentioned he was going to DreamHack, and he couldn't make MLG, and I was like, oh, well, you know, that's looked pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, I want to go to DreamHack so badly. Like, not even for the StarCraft. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. It's partially for the StarCraft, but it's like I've got so many friends who go over. They share all their pictures with me, and there's like so much more to DreamHack than just the games on the stage. Like, it's like
Party.
a festival. Yeah.
Partay, European partays. That's what I'm gonna say over at MLG Anaheim, by the way.
Just, yay! I'm at the party. You mean,
partay?
dude? You need to bring like a little like birthday hat and have it look all silly in your head. All right, but realistically talking about the series, guys, we saw Polt struggle through an impossible TVP to get here and still manage to win and get to where we are now. Armani, he's been going through a pretty tough bracket himself. Coming out of that victory versus Targa was no easy task. And let's not forget his first opponent today was the Neurosoft's own Roof. So I mean, he's had his ZVZs non-stop to get here. Let's hope that hasn't affected his ZVT.
Interesting. I really wish I had caught that Polt versus Store game, by the way. I only caught like 2 minutes of one of the games. God.
Yeah, way to wake up at... Like, who wakes up at 11 a.m., dude? I mean, really, come on. Jesus. You in Australia, and that's about it, alright?
Oh, all of Australia. Okay. Well, I'm in good company.
Well, I mean, as a collective, they don't really count anyways, right? Mate.
Whoa. Whoa.
Shots fired. No, I got so many Australian buds. But everyone I know seriously sleeps until like 1 p.m. Anyways, Zergling did pop off. I missed first blood, my bad. But Reapers are in twos now. Wait, where'd that second one go? Okay, it tried to jump up the cliff and they got awkward, I guess. Polt does thin out the Zergling herd right now. This is fine. This is whatever for the time being. But because he got the third Reaper on the way, it's really important that Armani's doing what he's doing right now, and that's making more Zerglings. Because 3 Reapers is going to kill the Queens if there's no Zerglings to buffer for them.
Yeah. The reason why he even lost so many Zerglings right there is that he was hoping he could trap them by bringing that other queen down. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. So losing 4 lings, usually unnecessary. Usually don't see, you know, them sacrifice it like that. But now it looks like he's just going to wait for speed since it is a few seconds away to finishing. But that's going to lose him a queen.
Almost,
no?
actually.
Oh. Wow, he probably should.
I don't know. It's hard to make that choice because the Reaper dies. That's 50 minerals, 50 gas. You kill the Queen. That's 150 minerals, but no gas. So it's a really tough choice. Meanwhile, 2 Lings did manage to get across the map while this was going on. They did chase off the SCV that was building the command center, but unfortunately, the command center was already done. So it's not that timing that's quite so sweet. But with all these Speedlings coming across the map and Hellings coming out in a moment's time, Armani's pretty limited in what he can do.
Yeah. These things will finally be cleaned up, but not before killing that one SCV they should have gotten in the first place. Waiting for the Hellions. Oh, that was a little bit of a mistake.
Oh,
I mean, he wants to get the scout in, but you can usually do that without losing the Overlord.
Well, no, part of this too is usually you send the Overlord because it's Hellions and Reapers. There's never a Marine coming out this early. Even now, it's usually not a Marine because the Starport's transferring over to the Tech Lab.
I don't know. Well, this is Polt, right? Polt gets a Viking. You know, rarely ever does he actually go for Banshees. I mean, sometimes he does, obviously, but it's probably going to be for Viking and I know that he at least gets a Marine always before getting the Tech Lab.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, typically, like, 90% of Terrans right now don't do what Polt does. And what Polt does, too, is a really cute follow-up to this. He was doing this a lot yesterday in the qualifiers as well, where he goes for 4 Marauders behind this with that stim pack.
Well, that's what he should... If he's doing what he normally does, he gets the Viking to clear out the Overlords, get the medevac, put the 4 Marauders on the medevac, and suddenly you can snipe off a 3rd.
Well, not even just snipe off the 3rd, but you can even contend with the Roaches that are usually made to deal with the Hellions, but we don't see any Roaches actually coming out.
Yeah, this is usually a map, too, where you do get Roaches. That's a really good point. You usually get, like, the first few Roaches to help out, or you get the Roaches to do that small attack. Armani's not doing that.
We've also been seeing a lot more Roach Hydra just in general on this, like, not just this map, but just, like, in general from Zerg players.
Yeah.
But Armani, he strikes me as one of the guys who's going to stick with the old and the trusted and the circling Mutalisk composition that he's won games and tournaments with before in the past. Roach Hydra's new and it works for some, but not for all. It's kind of like Mech for Terran, you know? There's some players who can pull it off quite well, and some players who are just gonna, could do without it.
Yeah, yeah. But this is such a good, rather, it's such a poor map for mutas that, you know, that's why we see it more often here, because the walls around it. I
don't think it's a poor map for mutas, though. I mean, it's got poor terrain design to work against them. But there's so many different angles you can come to attack. It's okay. I think here's the better way to phrase that. It's poor for getting Mutalisks out of a base.
Yeah, I mean, Mutalisks will always help in a straight-up engagement, but what really makes them powerful is when you get up to that big count and you can go and fly through the bases and just give the Terran a headache. This is not a map where you can do that. Additionally, it's also a map where, because there's those walls, the drops aren't as, you know, aplenty. So another reason not to get the mutas, but it's not like it's going to be absolutely terrible, you know. It's like, oh god, mutas can't get in the base and they're terrible. No, they help out in a bunch of different ways.
Polt's Viking finally going to get a kill here, by the way.
Yeah, it looks like Armani knew enough of Polt at least.
Look at this Hellion push coming though. This is insane. I didn't realize he had so many blinked up, because this isn't like it was a hidden blue flame. This is just straight up 11 Hellions.
You know, when he got that medevac in the Marauders, oh, there they are. They're in the main of Armani, about to come in.
So unfortunately with the links here, it's going to be a little bit hard to deal with this.
Yeah, it looks like Armani knows Polt enough to be wary of this, but uh-oh. Tries to spread for the last second.
Yeah, they get a decent spread. There's a lot of queens here too, but as they start grouping back up, it's a little too soon.
Mining. Don't go back to mining.
Alright, well, 7 Mutalisks on the way. They'll start cleaning this up as well. Again, everything Polt has right now, nothing really shoots air. There's no Marines, it's Marauders, it's Hellions, it's a medevac, and it's just nothing that really is going to shoot up. So these Mutalisks will start cleaning everything up. He goes for the queen kills, but the transfuses are too real.
Yeah. He would love if Armani made the mistake of using the queens to defend the Marauder drop and the lings to defend the Hellions, but Armani's totally on top of things, and Polt's not really doing a whole lot.
No, and that Mutalisk are revealed.
Oh, no.
Try to boost on out of there.
Unfortunately, it's not going to work. I mean, he drops the Marauders, they can buy us some time, but
they're
not going to take care of any mutas.
He really delayed this. He's even pumping out Widow Mines right now. Just like that sort of anti-air desperation.
Oh my god, he saved it.
The cooldown on that boost, yeah, exactly. I mean, the medevac's nice for healing, but he needs to keep this alive for potential drops or even getting around an opponent who's kind of choking him in. But yeah, the Mutalisk coming towards the main, we've got to be a little bit careful. There is already stim pack, but there's no combat shields. There's nothing to really keep these things alive. Or the Marines, that is, versus the Mutalisks. So he's, on one hand, he can take smaller engagements, but Polt's even throwing down turrets, just kind of haphazardly, because he needs to.
Yeah, he needs to. He didn't have enough Marines to cover every position. It would have gotten, you know, snowbally really fast. But he has successfully held on, and it will go into a normal kind of game. He's getting a third that is, you know, it's not a very atypical game. Or rather, it's not a typical game. Darn it.
I like the fourth being taken in the middle of the map rather than the pocket base over here, because this one's just way too close to Polt.
Yeah.
Downside, though, is this base is also kind of like, hey, come drop me, because I got to go all the way around and up ramps to stop it.
Yeah, it's not it could be worse. If Armani was trying to get that base and Polt was on the bottom and Armani was on the top right, then getting that fourth base on top of that ledge, you just put siege tanks down there. You just, that's where you attack.
See, that reminds me, I know we were talking a lot about how this map, like, we were expecting to see more siege tanks on the ledges and things. Finally saw someone do it! Lily Canine was taking impossible engagements versus Ultras and Swarm Host because he had positioned the tanks on the tops of these little, like, middle base ledges. It was pretty awesome. He lost the game still, but, I mean, the engagements were going his way every single time.
Well, even if it's not tanks, any time that the Terran can take advantage of these cliffs, they do. That's where they set up their attack, that's where they drop on top and then have the rest of the armor on the bottom. Stuff like that. Armani does a counterattack at the third, seems to do a bit of damage. Yeah, in fact, 4 SCVs killed.
Muta's just being kind of chased off for the time being. Again, they're not quite at that 20 count where they can get much done, but yeah, this is, I can't believe the Hellions are still alive. These are going to soak a couple baneling hits, but they'll definitely take out a couple with them, unless they get sniped off right now by the Mutas.
Look at this. Polt is actually adding 2 factories at once. I mean, sometimes you see them add 1 more, of course, that's typical, and then maybe 1 more really, really later. But just automatically 2 more. He's going to have quite a lot of mech.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's gotta be Thor's. Like, there's no reason you do this for Widow Mines. Like, you're not gonna mass produce Widow Mines.
Probably he's gonna transition into some Widow Mines, some Hellbats, and of course some Thor's, because you need Thor's. I mean, we have been seeing more and more people try out that bio mech style. Either they start off completely bio, they go into mech, or vice versa, or they're just adding a lot of factories.
Yeah, MMA actually did pretty well that one time against. But hang on, actually, we got the engagement go down. Nice Widow Mine! It goes off of those banelings. It is so rare that you get a hit so good out of a Widow Mine nowadays.
Yeah, that might not even been controlled. It was just Armani, I don't think, realized that was... He was running right on top of it and hadn't quite killed it.
Actually, I don't... Does he have an overseer? Okay, he does with the Mutalisks.
Yeah, that's usually not a mistake you see. I mean, Zerg players have been getting a little, like... You know, oh, Widow Mine's big deal, kind of attitude towards it. Down. Yeah, but no, they can still do that type of damage.
Oh wow, it is actually gonna be for a lot of Widow Mines because it's double reactors and it's tunneling claws or drilling claws rather.
I'd be really surprised if he just consistently made what is it, 5 Widow Mines.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I mean, players have been moving away from Widow Mines because of how kind of gimmicky, coin tossy, it's either good or they're bad type thing. But I guess if you got enough of them, you kind of stack the odds in your favor.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, people were doing it, but I feel like more and more people are like going away from, you know, into the Blue Flame Hellbats or whatever. And there he goes.
Okay, there. I was gonna say, I like the Hellbats being integrated with this as well. A lot of what Polt's doing here, guys, it's meant to deal with the banelings. It's not so much that you're trying to get that miracle hit on the Mutalisks. I mean, there's the rare situations where that happens and it's like game changing, but for the most part, I mean, the Widow Mines are supposed to take out the banelings, the Zerglings, the Hellbats will do the same job, and as long as the Marines live, the Mutalisks will never truly be a threat. But oh, he's clumped up pretty bad. He splits at the last second. The banelings are rolling into the best of their capabilities. Widow Mines going off not too well in this instance, and Polt is not trading out so well this time. In fact, his third base might end up going down here.
Oh, still has reinforcements. He also has a group of units off to the right that needs to come down and help out because, oh, wow, this
the Widow Mine's going to get hit with the Mutas if it goes off. It goes off on the Lings instead.
Widow Mines, you're so BM.
Right,
Polt needs to hang on. If he can hang on, he has that 4th base coming, the production will kick in, but these Mutalisks are going unanswered.
There's not even a turret. It's not even the Mutalisks, I think. The Marines can take the Mutalisks. It's these freaking Zerglings that are buffering for them underneath. He doesn't have Hellbats on the front line, so can't deal with them. Good game's actually going to be called. He's not going to hold on. Armani will take game number 1.